Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame and Cinnamon Sugar, and this is going to be a thoughts post. Now, at first, I was not going to do a video on this, but I thought about it and I'm like, makes sense for me to go ahead and say something because I am from Alabama myself, and I've been saying things on my personal page. And people have been looking at me sideways and have basically, until today, they did not agree with what I was saying. But stuff started not adding up for me early on. But anyway, before we get into that, let me go on ahead and introduce how I'm familiar with where all this stuff started, quote unquote. So for those of y'all who've been around for a while, I've already told y'all that I used to date somebody that used to be in the military. They retired and they were living in Hoover, Alabama at the time. This was during my last year of college when I was attending Alabama State University. So I used to travel back and forth between where I'm from, Montgomery, Alabama, to Hoover to see him. Now, obviously, because if you know what Hoover is about, ain't nothing out there. At least back when I went, there wasn't nothing out there like that, except specific things that always pop up when you're in an area like that, which is a Dollar General or something like that. That's literally the only place I stopped outside of my ex-boyfriend's apartment when I was in Hoover. But whenever he and I would go out on dates, we would leave Hoover and go to Birmingham, which is not that far away from Hoover. We were at the Galleria all the time. We were at the movies all the time at the Galleria and all this other stuff. And child. But yeah, ain't nothing in Hoover like that. Most people, if you are going to do something because you live in Hoover, you drove or found some form of transportation in order to get from Hoover to Birmingham to do those things, whether it's school, work, whatever, shopping, all that good stuff. So anyway, anything else I want to say about that? No, not really. But yeah, just in case, you know what I'm saying? Because some people, they'll try to act like, oh, well, you just saying stuff. No, for those of y'all who've been here, there are a few people who've been here, like, since I first started uploading videos, even though I'm not, you know, I ain't nobody like that. But I'm just saying I've been uploading videos for some years now. And even though I haven't been consistent, there are some people that remember the certain things that I told them about my past and certain people that I dated and where they're from. So it ends up correlating with some of the things that I'm talking about. So now that I've told y'all that, let's get into this. So just in case you have been living under a rock and don't know who this person is, Carlee, I think her name is Carlethia or something like that, Russell. She is somebody who, I guess she's actually from Hoover. If not, she was at least living there or traveling through there when we all eventually found out that she had been kidnapped or abducted from there. Now, the only thing I said prior to this video was, y'all pray for her, and that was the end of the video when I had done one of my normal videos that I do all the time. That was it. But not long after that, I started seeing things or not seeing things. There's a lack of evidence. And I was just like, please. Like the whole time I'm saying to myself, I had already prayed for you. Now, Lord, please don't let this be a situation where prayer has been wasted on a lie. I don't like stuff like that. Don't have us out here praying and hoping and people over there donating to GoFundMe's and all this other stuff when this is a whole hoax. Like, don't do that. Black people already do not get coverage like this when stuff like this go down. There's a whole lot of black bodies out there that have never been found. A lot of black people who've never been found that go missing all the time. And this gained national coverage in a matter of less than 24 hours. So we're just looking like, okay, wait a minute now. Like, there's too much going on. So, again, if y'all have been living under a rock, this is what it is. An Alabama woman who vanished after calling 911 to report a child walking alone an interstate last week reappeared at her home 2 days later and told investigators a detailed story about being captured and held by a man. But police, as of today, said that they are still unable to verify much of her story. So, directly coming from the chief of police in Hoover, Alabama, they said, we have no reason to believe that there is a threat to the public's safety related to this particular case. And just in case y'all, you know, don't know how many people are around there, it's like 90,000 people in Hoover, like on the outside, on the outskirts of Birmingham, Alabama. Now, another thing that I need to add is, I don't know how many of y'all know how Birmingham operate, but Birmingham be doing the most. Back in the day when I was a child and I used to visit Birmingham, that was another connection for me. I have an aunt that actually lives and is, you know, well, she's not from that particular part of Alabama, but she lives in Fairfield, Alabama, which is nowhere from Birmingham as well. So whenever we would come and visit, we would always go to Chuck E. Cheese and all this other stuff. We would go to Birmingham to do all of this because there was not much to do in Fairfield like that. Like the big things that she wanted us to do or whatever while we were visiting her, places that she wanted to take us, it had to be in Birmingham. So we would get in the car with her and she would take us to Birmingham. So anyway, despite the fact that, to me, at least when I last went to Hoover, last time I went to Hoover was in 2006 or 2007. One or two. That was the last time I've been there. So I'm pretty sure it's grown since then. When I used to ride through there, it was kind of desolate. So yeah, I'm guessing that a lot of that land has been, you know, taken up by residents, because that's how they do a lot of areas like that. Eventually they'll find some kind of way to roll out plans to have apartments and houses and stuff built up out of nowhere. So it is what it is. So anyway, let's continue. So the chief of police was in the middle of doing the press conference, and they pretty much, apparently they were about to say that they believe that all this was a lie. They really feel like that this was a lie and that she was lying about this situation, but they caught themselves and they were just like, we can't confirm most of what she told them. And a lot of questions are not being answered. And I was just like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. So yeah, we all want to know the truth. That's what they said too. So the news conference happened and they're just like, look, they're just not understanding what's going on because she's not agreeing to answer questions. And I'm like, see, you're bringing more red flags. We looking at you like, all right, now what's really going on? It's too many people who was trying to be in your corner. Like, come on now. So this heifer ended up making a whole lot of internet searches. Now, before I get to that, let me tell y'all what I have been hearing before today, because I'm going to get to that too, because I was disgusted once that happened. I was like, okay, so this is putting the final nail in the coffin for me, even though I think they're going to continue to find more things. But this information is what's putting the final nail in the coffin for me. Now, what I had been hearing that there was a breakup between her and her boyfriend. She found out he was cheating on her with some stripper or something like that. She went back and forth with the stripper and whatever. Okay. I don't know if this part is a lie, but they were talking about how she has some kind of mental problems and all this other stuff. And now, you know, some people like to throw stuff like that in the mix so that if time is a situation that's going to pop up, they want to see if they can get the time dismissed or lessened significantly. To say, oh, no, they have issues. They are a mental case. They have all these things going on with them, to kind of lessen it, to make it seem like, oh, no, they was crazy. That's why that happened. Oh, no, that's all that was, to try to dismiss it. Like, I don't know how true it is, but that was one of the things that was thrown out there. She talking about she saw a child. That was the first thing I heard, was that she saw a child on the side of the interstate. Now, the interstate is extremely busy. It's one of those places that, y'all, when I tell y'all, I used to go to somewhere, I forgot what the name of that city is. It's like, I can't even think of the name of it. But I had a friend that lived somewhere else, and it was like in Birmingham, but it was like, I don't even want to say the outskirts. But anyway, if y'all know what I'm talking about, because y'all from Birmingham or y'all have been there, y'all know what I'm talking about. Look, listen, what is the name of that area where when you know, most places when you are on the interstate, for you to get off of the interstate, you have to get over and go to the right. Well, in this particular instance, the person's place that they were living in at the time, in order for me to go and visit them, I had to like immediately go to the left. I had to get all the way over to the left. And I ain't gonna lie, the first time I had to do it, because I never knew where they lived, I got off on the wrong exit. Like, I am not used to that. That gave me so much anxiety. The traffic was doing the most. It kind of gave Atlanta, because it was like rush hour traffic that day. So I was like, I don't know if you ever been in Atlanta traffic, but no thank you. But it's one of those exits where you got to be in the left lane to get off. But this person lived in Birmingham, or it's like right there. So like it's up the street and not that far from everything. And child. So anyway, I forgot what that area was called, like the neighborhood or whatever, so that I can kind of, the community, so that I can give y'all a better inclination as to what I'm talking about. But anyway, so I was just like, this is too much. That highway was doing the most. And I'm like, is that one of the ones I was on? I have no idea, because I know that when I normally would go to Birmingham, when I became an adult, there were times I had to go up and down the highway to go to Birmingham and come back and all this other stuff for clients when I was a social worker. That for me, it's always been I-65. So the other little places that are off like that, the interstates that are different from that, I never remember what they are, but I'm pretty sure that was one of them that I did have to use at times. So anyway, y'all, initially we didn't see any video footage posted, so I'm just like going blind off of what is being told to us by her mama. I'd have seen the videos where the mama had already had the search party, the family and friends and other people who've been through situations like this came out to help and all of that. So the mama, she keeps on doing the interview. She sounds very convincing, and I'm like, alrighty, okay. All right, so like I said, let's go ahead and I got it up here now for that. But talking about the person, one of the people who kidnapped her was feeding her Cheez-Its. And I was like, okay. I didn't understand what the significance of them making sure to always specify that her wig was left at the scene. I was like, okay. Alrighty. So I think I heard something about how she had made a stop to go get something to eat at some place, and it was just all kinds of stuff that was not adding up. Like, the traffic is going too fast for you to be able to be like, ooh, I see this, and it's dark as I don't know what outside. If anything, you seeing a deer, or like you just seeing something that ain't there at this point. People who are from that area have been saying, if you've driven that road, you already know it's too late when you see a deer. Your car towed up by the time you see the deer. So ain't no way she saw a child and said, oh, let me pull over for this child. Like, how slow would you have had to be going? Because it's not possible. They're saying it's not possible because you have to be going a certain speed, or you're supposed to be going a certain speed. And then once they got into everything, they were able to determine that this heifer was going fast enough to where she bypassed the area that she supposedly would have seen a child, and it would have been the length of 6 football fields. So it's not like you can back up a little bit and see what was going on or none of that. Like, no, maybe I would have pulled over if I was going to do any of this. Maybe I'd pull over and be like, wait a minute, am I crazy? And I would have got off on one exit and then went back around and then put my hazards on, or called, you know, but especially since this is a situation where the traffic is pretty much high speed. Like, it's too fast for you to see anything. I would just call the police. Like, and yeah, like I think I was in the middle of saying before, I don't know if y'all know about Birmingham, but Birmingham be doing the most as it is. Because yes, Hoover is where all of this started, but if something was going to go down, these people took her somewhere close by or whatever. Like, people were speculating maybe she's in Birmingham. You know, maybe they took her somewhere close, or, you know, let's see. And they were asking neighbors that were in the areas, like, maybe you saw something on your Ring camera. Maybe there was something on these traffic cameras and all that. Let's check all the footage, because we looking for her. We're coming together as a community. We're coming together as a state at this point. Like, they was like, look at the neighboring states. Let's do all of this. I just, I was just like, this is really too much, because everybody is zooming in on the video. The video's not making sense, because all I see is her getting out and doing nothing pretty much. And I'm like, unless your tire blew out, you as a woman shouldn't have been getting out of your car on the side of a road at night. What is going on here? I was very confused by that. Like, I try not to even be out there like that unless I'm traveling one way going to Alabama because I'm about to go visit my family, or there's something work-related going on. Something, it has to be something along the lines of that for me to just be out like that. But yeah, I still wouldn't be out like that. Like, I got AAA or whatever. I have insurance, so somebody else gonna come and handle whatever's going on with my car. If it did end up being a situation where the tire blew out, like, I didn't understand the reason why she did that. I think she went to the door and did all this other stuff. It wasn't making sense. If there was a child, why have we never heard of any Amber Alerts? Because I get Amber Alerts for Alabama and I get Amber Alerts for Virginia. I guess because of my phone number, and I don't know, but I get Amber Alerts for both. So I'm just like, I ain't get no Amber Alerts. Ain't nobody heard nothing about no kidnappings recently. I don't understand. Like, nobody reporting no children missing. What's going on? So that was already a hole in the story. Why are these people painting your nails? I don't understand. Like, what kind of arts and crafts show going on around here? Like, what kind of Bronner Brothers show was they getting you ready for? Is that what was going on? Like, it's not making sense. Like, why would they do that? My first thought was all this happened and y'all making it seem like, oh, they snatched her so fast, the wig and everything, all that's gone. I'm thinking sex trafficking. I'm thinking sex trafficking because a whole lot of that's been going on. And she would fit that profile perfectly for somebody to have her as a drug mule, to sex traffic her or something like that. So in my mind, I'm already like, oh my gosh, what if that's what's going on? That would be so terrible, Lord, please. People praying for this heifer. And she just is small and knit up. And it's like, why would you do this? So, like I said, her mama sticking to the story and all of this. So now I'm looking at the mama like, okay, y'all, everybody talking about the last time they spoke to her with these specific times. And now all of a sudden, within 48 hours, she done reappeared. People were saying that on their cameras, she was fine, and then she tried to kind of act frantic when she was getting closer to her house. She just appeared. Now, when they were first, notified that she has reemerged and now she's at the house, they done sent somebody over there, and they were told that somebody was unresponsive, her, and couldn't speak and all this other stuff, but she was the complete opposite of what had been reported. It's like, why? Please tell me you did not go to these lengths to try to trick everybody into believing that something happened to you, to get attention from somebody who does not care about you. Please tell me you did not go to that length to get the attention of somebody who obviously did not care about you. And that's another thing about him. I'm like, okay, if they ain't together no more, why he acting like they still a couple? Like, now, and see, my thing is this. A lot of people don't understand, like, they were like, oh, well, the boyfriend why would the boyfriend say any of this? Because he's a suspect. You already know he's a suspect. So now he's going to say, oh, we together still. So, my loving girlfriend, I'm here for her. I don't know what's happening. Let me put on this show because don't nobody have time for this. He's a suspect now. So I'm pretty sure that's why he said all the things he was saying, because he needed to put on a show so they wouldn't be looking at him like, oh, so you got an attitude and y'all ain't together no more and all this other stuff. I think they said that all traces of their relationship had pretty much been taken off of their social media and all that. So that's why some things was not adding up. Like, okay, wait a minute. Y'all ain't together no more. What's going on with this? Then we hearing about she's stealing from registers and things at a job she was working at. Like, girl, what is going on? What was the thievery for? Like, I don't know. Like, it was just too many things going on. And I feel like I'm missing a whole lot because every day, like halfway through the day, a whole lot of stuff that came out. Then the last half of the day, some more foolishness that came out. And I'm talking about hole after hole is being poked into this story. And I'm just like, girl, what was the reason? What was the reason for this lie? Like, please tell me it was not over a man that does not care about you, that does not value your feelings, don't care nothing about what you got going on like that. It's going to be convenient when he cares. He does not care about you. Girl, like, so anyway, let me fast forward to what I got to say now, and then I'm going to let y'all go. So the most recent thing that has come out that we've learned about because of the press conference is that the Secret Service found out that this heifer was all on the internet doing searches for certain things. And this is what the key terms that she was looking into. You have to pay for an Amber Alert or search. How to make money from a register without being caught. Information about Amber Alerts. Birmingham bus station. One-way bus ticket from Birmingham to Nashville. The movie Taken. Heifer, you did all this in an effort to get all this attention. That's not going to bring somebody back. If y'all relationship is over with, whether he left you or you left him, all of this is not going to bring somebody back. Like, what is going on? Oh, and one of the other things I heard was that she had gotten pregnant and she was trying to cover up the fact that she had gotten pregnant and she had to go to another state to get it done and all this other stuff. And I was just like, okay, this is too much. Whatever. It's just too many things. It ain't making sense. But yeah, as of right now, there still has not been a child that has been reported missing. Like, I'm just like, no, ain't nothing adding up. What is going on? And then, like, yesterday, I think it was, I saw where the mama did a press conference when she finally spoke out about the daughter being back at the house. And she was just like, oh, we're just so glad she's back. Da-da-da-da. The daddy's sitting there looking like, whew, I'm just here so I don't get fined. This is some foolishness. Y'all got me going along with this foolishness. Okay. Now, I don't know. That might just be the way he normally looks. There are some people that just look dazed, confused, and everything else. But I think he's just looking like that because he's just like, okay, I know the real story. Are we going to jail? Like, what's really going on with this? What we finna do? What is it about to be? Y'all already saw that Justice Smollett was, you know, accused of all kinds of things as well. Like, we found out very quickly that he was lying. I guess we should commend her because she was able to drag out the lies longer than him. And he's a whole actor out here with money. So, you know what I'm saying? He has just been able to kind of evade some things because he has money and celebrity, so to speak, and all that. But it's just like, this is ridiculous. Like, what was the reason? Like, you already were getting a lot of attention because you were on Empire. There was no reason for you to do this. Like I said to y'all, hopefully this foolishness was not because of her relationship failing. Relationships come and go. There are too many other people out here. You could have definitely went somewhere and healed and moved on. I'm not going to try to sit up here and act like I haven't been heartbroken and people ain't tried me and all of that, because that's definitely happened. But I didn't sit up there and say, you know what? Let me reach out to all these heifers that my ex was screwing and go off on them and be like, oh, you don't even compare to me. You couldn't even hold a candle to me and all this other stuff. Meanwhile, he's still going to screw these folks. You doing all of this. You doing all of this. Some of the dudes that are on the level that he apparently is on, they live for stuff like that. They thrive off of that. You ain't doing nothing but feed into the stupidity. Like, what was the reason? So I'm just like, girl, I want us to want better for ourselves. You were over here on a career path to do something that a lot of people value as important. Why not stick with that? Like, she was an RN or she's in school to become one or whatever. Like, why wouldn't you stick with that? The relationship over with, if that's what it was, let it be what it is and focus on your schoolwork, grind even harder and get it done faster because you don't have any other distractions now. Now, my thing is, I've been through a whole lot of my life. I've endured the hurt and the pain on my own. I didn't burden anybody else with it. I didn't sit up there and try to lie to people about a situation to make it look better. Like, there are people that really will sit up there and be like, oh no, I don't want my family to know that we aren't together anymore. I can't bring myself to do that. And they will lie like they're still with the person in their mind that went crazy. And they basically do feel like they with them, or they trying to hope and wish it into a situation. A lot of stuff that people are going through, it is self-inflicted and it does not have to be the case. A lot of people, it seems as though most people are in relationships, whether it's a marriage, boyfriend and girlfriend, fiance, all of that, entanglements, all that stuff is happening back to back that are red flags. And it's because God or whatever you believe in or pray to, whether that's anybody, anything or whatever, is trying to tear it apart. But you are holding on desperately. And it's like, why would you do that? Like, why are you doing that? And again, I've been there and done that. But I've learned my lesson. I went somewhere and healed before any of my other relationships came about. These people will sit up there and meditate on it, continue to go back to toxic situations that serve them no purpose. Like, what is the reason? I want people to want better for themselves. But anyway, y'all, just had to come on here and tell y'all about it, about how I feel, and to just, you know, give updates, because some people really don't be knowing about some of the stuff that be going on until after I've come on camera and said certain things like this. But yeah, y'all, I ain't here for it. She needs to be put under the jail. She needs to be jailed for this, fined, whatever. If her mama and them was in on it, they need a piece of that action too. I said what I said, and I don't care. I'm not one of those black people that's like, oh, because it's a black person, let me just still defend them to the end. I don't care it's a black person. I don't want another black person to go to jail. I really don't. But if you want to do this crazy stuff, then you need to learn your lesson. You need to go somewhere and think about what you've done. You are wasting taxpayers' dollars. Don't nobody have time for it. Birmingham and the surrounding areas already got enough crime and foolishness going on as it is. Like I keep trying to say, I don't know how many of y'all know about Birmingham. It ain't it. It ain't it. Because that particular year when I was with my ex, we went to Magic City Classic, and you have to hope that nobody breaks into your vehicle when you go into that area where that's held. There are various places in Birmingham you just cannot go without having to worry about your car being broken into, somebody robbing you. There's a lot of crime and whatnot going on. It's too much already going on for you to add to the confusion and foolishness. I just wish people would stop. Stuff like this puts black people in a bad light. We're already in that. We don't need anything added to it. Anyway, y'all have a blessed one.